must say that I must thank Tom Leader a lot for suggesting that we should have a celebration like this for my retirement. You were the first one that thought that was a good idea, and I very much appreciated that you thought about that. We discussed then when should it be, and we ended up with a time that sort of fitted almost at the end of my 70th year, so that I've a little bit more than a week to go. So I think that was quite perfect. I'm still 70, so that's okay. I think I also should thank both Hilda and Henrik for taking part in sort of the planning of the whole event. It's been very nice working together with you three, on preparing this. Then when we discussed who should be invited, it was not difficult to find a good list of the people that should be invited. And I'm most pleased that all of you that are here had the time to come. I know it's a busy time of the year, but I do really appreciate that you had the time to both spend the whole day at School of Pharmacy listening to a lot of these very nice lectures that we had today, and also participate in the dinner here tonight. We have invited people that have been very important for me throughout my both working and social life. It's people that I met when I was a student that are here. We have kept contact all the time since. We have had some fantastic trips to Africa together, some of us, both to South Africa, Namibia and Mali. It's been fantastic with Hilda and Hege. Signe and Hege. And I think that sort of having been students together, you also get to know each other in a very good way, and you can stay good friends for the rest of your life. You learn something very early, and this has been a very nice period, I must say. I started to work at School of Pharmacy, as you know, quite early. I'm very sad that Vol couldn't come here, because I think he is the one I've been collaborating with the longest. And as I said, he wasn't very well. He would very much have liked to be here. When we started, I think Malterud then is number 2 of those I've known longest. He came to our department in 1980, wasn't it, approximately? First time I met him was at a conference in Gotland on a natural products chemistry meeting. We will have another one in Gotland this year, so anyone here that would like to participate are most welcome. I think it's a most fantastic meetings within natural products chemistry in the Nordic countries we can go to. I've also had some very good collaboration with the people in the Research Council, and as a representative for those, we have Signe over there. I started very early in the Research Council, and she was secretary in all the various committees, and we went together various places in the world. And we also got to know her husband very well, so we've had great fun together, both, I would say, professionally and also socially. That's been very nice. I think that all those of you that have been my PhD students, and it's quite a few of them here, it's been a great joy. Because I think that if you can teach the younger generation something, it's a great joy to see that they learn something. And they also challenge you in many ways, because they ask questions which you may not have thought about yourself, and they let you start to work harder, find out what is the answer to this question they ask. I think that's very important. When we started with the allergen parts, that was when I met Christian for the first time, because he was then injecting all our rabbits, wasn't it, with Artemisia vulgaris extracts or something like that. And so he was then, I think, just a research assistant or something, I'm not quite sure, but he was not at the veterinary school, but he then became very important for us, because he's now what is called a censor for many of our master students. And we've been collaborating for that, I think, for 10, 20 years, more or less. And I think we are going to do something together in the future, based on all the Burma plans that Nordahl started out on. So I think that will be great fun. We, concerning administration, I know that Lisbeth has been very important. Lisbeth, and I think also Solveig, when we worked together in the with the problems related to the course of pharmacy, that was very fascinating. Berit was then also head of the School of Pharmacy, and we had a lot of good collaboration together. So that was very, very important. Very important period, I think, for School of Pharmacy when we did all that. Concerning Jan and Hanne, I think we have been working together with the museum quite a lot. And Hege has also been involved in that, the Pharmacy Museum. And this is another part of my life, which is, I think, it really started because Hege phoned me one day and asked if I would like to be on the board for the Friends of the Museum. And that's really has taken off, and we're really doing a lot of interesting work related to the herbal garden, especially over there now. So we have I have had a lot of interesting people to work with. Marianne is sitting over there, also with the course we have together. And when you can make a sort of master course together with somebody in a different department, in pharmacy, because she's a galenical person and we are sort of pharmacognosists, but we found a common interest in the polysaccharides. So therefore we made a course for galenical people and pharmacognosists, and that's been very successful. We have many students every year for that. So, and I must also say that Liv Thoren, sitting back over there, she's been a great joy when we were arranging conferences. It started out many years ago when Britt, another friend from when we were studying, she couldn't come here today, but she was working with us for many years, and she and I was arranging the pharmacy days with the help of Torun and a lot of other people. And then we got to know her well, and she's been a good collaborator with various conferences. And I would say that without that help, to arrange conferences would have been very complicated. Ragnar has also been great fun. he is coming into my office sort of 5:30, 4:15, or whenever. Are you still there? More or less discussing things. He has done interesting things related to metal ions. He was very important for MIGA, and he has also trained Rissa a lot in how to maintain do the maintenance of the atomic absorption instruments, so it's now working properly in Mali, and it's been great joy, and he's been a real pharmacognost. He's taking part in all our natural products meetings, and who would have thought that of an inorganic chemist? That's been great fun. So, and then I would say the technicians, everybody in our department, Ellen and Huai, who are here, what should we have done without those? We can't do without technical help. That's very important. We have also I must say, Jørgen, who is sitting over there, he has been a very important pillar in the MUTI project. And if he hadn't known all the ins and outs of how to do all the reporting, how to word things so that you will accept what we are saying, he knows all that. That's been fantastic. Unfortunately, the EU project and the reporting may have an end soon, but we may also participate in new projects, so you may not get rid of us. So Terje said what he said about our collaboration, and I think that's been very, very, very interesting. It's very difficult to mention everybody, but a lot of you have said a lot of things, and I think that my life as a scientist has been very interesting. I have had the possibility to work with various types of compounds, various types of activities, various types of people from an immense number of countries. I've learned a lot traveling around in all these countries. The most exotic thing I've done, I think, was when I was in Mongolia and we studied one of the yurts, and we were cooking lamb in a big metal bottle with stones that first had been burned, so they were sort of burning hot in a fire and put into there, and then they put a lot of onion in it, and then they sort of turned it around, and suddenly the food was cooked. That was quite fascinating. That is probably a way Malians also may do it, I don't know, but what I have also learned when I have been traveling around all over the world is that we do have a lot in common. I think that our basis, what we really had originally in all our countries, is very much the same tradition. We find a lot of similarities in many countries, and the way I've got to know Mali is that we also have a lot in common with Mali. So the more you travel around, the more interesting it gets, and the more you realize that countries' traditions are not that different. You can sort of apply what you know anywhere you are, really, because we do have a lot of things in common. We are human beings, all of us. So I've had a great time. I hope you also will have a great time in your career in future. We have, I also hope that the rest of the evening here will be very nice for everybody. Thank you very much for coming and attending this party.